Sam was only 6 years old with messy light brown hair that stuck up in all directions, but the world already felt so big and scary to him. He was afraid of loud noises, strangers, and things he didn't know. But what scared him the most were thunderstorms. The loud booms and bright flashes in the sky made him cry and hide under the table. Sam's mom and dad loved him very much. They wanted to help him feel brave. They tried everything. His dad read him bedtime stories about heroes, and his mom sang soft songs when he was scared. But Sam's fears didn't go away. One day, his parents had an idea. They thought a dog might help Sam feel less afraid. Not just any dog, though. They found Leo, a big Labrador who had worked as a service dog before. Leo had gentle eyes and soft, golden fur. He was calm and kind, just the kind of friend Sam needed. When Leo came home, Sam didn't feel happy. He felt nervous. Leo was so big. What if Leo barked? What if Leo jumped on him? Sam stayed far away, watching Leo from the corner of the room. Leo didn't rush to Sam. He seemed to understand that Sam needed time. Leo would lie down quietly, wagging his tail just a little whenever Sam looked his way. He wasn't pushy. He just waited. Days went by, and Sam's parents tried to help him spend time with Leo. "Look, Sam," his mom said, sitting on the floor next to Leo. "He's so gentle. You can pet him." But Sam shook his head and held his toy car tighter. One evening, while Sam was playing with his toys, he noticed Leo lying near the window. Leo looked calm, his ears twitching every now and then as he listened to the sounds outside. Sam wanted to go closer, but his feet wouldn't move. Instead, he just watched. Then, one afternoon, dark clouds started to fill the sky. The wind blew hard, and the trees outside swayed wildly. Sam's heart began to race. He knew what was coming. A thunderstorm. The first loud crack of thunder made Sam jump. He ran to his usual hiding spot under the table, hugging his knees and closing his eyes tight. Leo lifted his head. He saw Sam under the table and slowly walked over. Leo didn't bark or make a sound. He just sat down near Sam, his tail wagging softly. Sam peeked through his fingers and saw Leo's calm face. He wasn't scared of the thunder at all. Another loud boom shook the house, and Sam whimpered. Leo gently lay down, resting his head on his paws. His calmness seemed to fill the air, even though the storm was still loud. Sam didn't know why, but Leo's presence made him feel just a little better. He wasn't ready to leave his hiding spot, but for the first time, he didn't feel completely alone during a storm. The storm carried on for what felt like hours. Each time the thunder roared, Sam would flinch, but Leo stayed steady. He didn't move away, didn't get scared, and didn't leave Sam's side. Slowly, Sam began to notice something. The loud booms weren't as scary with Leo there. When he reached out a small hand, Leo's fur felt warm and soft. It wasn't so bad. Leo looked up at Sam, his big brown eyes calm and patient. When the storm finally began to quiet down, Sam took a deep breath. He didn't leave his spot, but for the first time, he felt like he might not always be so scared. Leo had stayed with him. Leo wasn't scared, and maybe, just maybe, Sam could learn to be brave too. That night, Sam's mom tucked him into bed. "Leo likes you, Sam," she said with a smile. "He's your friend." Sam didn't say anything, but he thought about Leo lying by the table during the storm. Maybe Leo was his friend. Maybe Leo wasn't so scary after all. The rain poured softly outside, but the thunder was gone. Sam drifted off to sleep, dreaming of soft fur and gentle eyes. He didn't know it yet, but Leo was going to change his life. There were still many fears to face, but now, Sam wasn't completely alone. Leo was there, waiting patiently for Sam to take the first step. Leo had made himself at home quickly. He followed Sam wherever he went, but always at a safe distance. Sam's parents encouraged him to interact with Leo. "He wants to be your friend, Sam," his dad said one morning, watching Leo trail after Sam as he moved his toy cars around the living room. But Sam was still unsure. The big dog's size and presence felt overwhelming. Whenever Leo got too close, Sam would run to his room and shut the door. Leo would sit patiently outside, his tail wagging softly, as if to say, "I'll wait." One afternoon, Sam's mom sat down next to him on the couch while Leo rested nearby. Did you know Leo used to help people? She asked. Sam's eyes widened a little, curious but silent. His mom continued, he was a service dog. He helped people who needed him. That's why he's so gentle and calm. He knows how to take care of others. Sam glanced at Leo, who lifted his head slightly at the sound of his name. Later that day, Sam overheard his parents talking about Leo's training. They mentioned how Leo had learned to stay calm in noisy places and help people feel safe. Leo had been loyal and patient, always doing his best to help. Some wondered if Leo could help him too. That evening, a loud crash echoed through the house. Sam jumped, dropping his toy car, and froze in fear. His mom called out, "It's just a pan in the kitchen, Sam. Nothing to worry about." But Sam's heart was racing. Before he could run or hide, Leo was there. The dog stood beside him, his calm presence steadying Sam's shaky breaths. Leo didn't do much, just stood close, his warm body a quiet reassurance. Sam reached out a trembling hand, letting it rest on Leo's soft fur. It felt comforting, like holding onto a favorite blanket. "Good boy, Leo," Sam whispered, his voice barely audible. Leo's tail wagged gently, and for the first time, Sam didn't pull away. The next day, Sam tried something new. He sat on the floor while Leo lay nearby. Slowly, hesitantly, Sam reached out and petted Leo's back. Leo stayed still, his eyes soft and calm. Sam's parents watched quietly from the kitchen, their hearts swelling with hope. Sam didn't say much, but the small smile on his face spoke volumes. Leo had waited patiently, and now, the first seeds of trust were beginning to grow. They still had a long way to go, but for the first time, it felt like they were on the right path. Leo wagged his tail, content to be exactly where he was, by Sam's side. Sam's parents thought it was time for a new step. "Why don't you take Leo for a walk?" his mom suggested one sunny morning. "Just to the park. He'll love it." Sam froze at the idea. Leave the house? Go outside with Leo? It felt too much. The thought made his chest tighten. "What if something happens?" he whispered. "Nothing will happen," his dad assured him. "Leo will take care of you." After a lot of convincing, Sam finally agreed. His mom handed him Leo's leash. It felt heavy in his hand, just like the nervousness in his stomach. Leo wagged his tail, excited but calm, ready for the adventure. They stepped outside, the sunlight warm on Sam's face. The park wasn't far, but to Sam, it felt like a long journey. Every step felt strange, but Leo walked beside him, his steady pace comforting. When they reached the park, Sam's eyes widened. There were kids playing, birds chirping, and even a small pond with ducks swimming. Leo seemed at home here. He sniffed the grass and wagged his tail at the sounds around him. Sam felt a tiny spark of happiness watching Leo enjoy himself. But then, something unexpected happened. Leo spotted a squirrel and bolted after it, pulling the leash out of Sam's hand. "Leo!" Sam cried, his voice trembling. Panic filled his chest as he watched Leo run across the park. What if Leo didn't come back? What if he got lost? Sam's heart raced, but he remembered what his dad had said. "Leo will take care of you." Sam took a deep breath and shouted, "Leo, come back!" To his surprise, Leo stopped, turned around, and trotted back to him. His tail wagged as if to say, "I'm here. Don't worry." Sam let out a relieved sigh and knelt down. "Good boy, Leo," he said, his voice shaky but grateful. He patted Leo's head, feeling a little braver than before. They continued their walk, and Sam felt different. The park didn't seem so scary anymore. Leo had shown him that it was okay to trust, and maybe, just maybe, the world wasn't as big and frightening as he thought. As they walked home, Sam smiled. It was a small smile, but it carried a lot of meaning. Today was a good day, and he couldn't wait to see what tomorrow would bring. Sam wasn't the only one who adored Leo. His baby sister, Lily, was even more fearless than he could imagine. At only 2 years old, Lily loved waddling up to Leo with her tiny hands reaching out. Leo, ever so gentle, would sit still and let her touch his soft fur. Sometimes she would tug at his ears or tail, but Leo didn't mind. He only wagged his tail and gave her a soft lick on the hand. "Be careful, Lily," Sam's mom would say, but Sam noticed that Leo didn't need much guidance. He knew exactly how to be gentle with Lily. Watching Leo with her, Sam began to see something he hadn't noticed before. Leo wasn't just a dog. He was a protector. One sunny afternoon, the family decided to go on a picnic at the park. Sam's dad packed sandwiches, and his mom brought a blanket. Lily clapped her hands excitedly as they got ready, and Sam held Leo's leash tightly. He still felt a little nervous about being outside, but he was beginning to trust Leo more. At the park, they found a nice spot under a big tree. Leo stayed close to Lily as she toddled around on the grass. Sam watched as Leo followed her every move, his eyes calm and alert. When she stumbled and fell, Leo was there in an instant, nudging her gently with his nose to help her up. Lily giggled, her laughter filling the air. Sam's mom and dad encouraged him to take Leo for a short walk around the park. "You can do it, Sam," his dad said. "Just let Leo lead the way. He knows what to do." Sam hesitated but agreed. Holding the leash tightly, he started walking with Leo. They passed kids playing on the swings, and Sam felt a twinge of nervousness. But Leo walked steadily, his calm presence giving Sam a sense of control he hadn't felt before. They even stopped by the pond where ducks were swimming. Sam smiled as Leo sniffed the air, wagging his tail happily. As they made their way back to the picnic spot, Sam noticed dark clouds gathering in the sky. The wind picked up slightly, rustling the leaves on the trees. "Looks like it might rain," Sam's dad said, glancing upward. But the family didn't rush. They were enjoying their time together, and Sam felt a quiet confidence growing inside him. Leo stayed close to Sam, his steady companionship a source of comfort. For the first time, Sam felt like he could handle whatever came next. Even as the clouds grew darker, he wasn't afraid. Leo was there, and that made all the difference. The dark clouds that had hovered above the park didn't wait long to burst. Rain began to pour, heavy and cold, soaking the family within moments. The wind howled through the trees, bending their branches and scattering leaves. "We need to find shelter," Sam's dad shouted over the roar of the storm. "There's a shed near the pond. Let's go." Holding Lily close to her chest, Sam's mom hurried ahead. Sam and his dad trailed behind, Leo walking beside them. But in the chaos of the storm, the path became muddy and slippery. A strong gust of wind knocked over a tree branch, blocking their way. "We'll take another path," Sam's dad said. He pointed toward a narrow trail that wound around the trees. "Stay close." The rain pounded harder, making it difficult to see. The family became separated as Sam's dad tried to find the best route. Sam clutched Leo's leash tightly, his heart racing. Lightning flashed across the sky, followed by a deafening clap of thunder. Sam froze. Fear gripped him, rooting him to the spot. His mind raced with thoughts of what could go wrong. What if they couldn't find shelter? What if Leo ran away? What if something happened to Lily? Tears filled his eyes, but he couldn't move. He felt paralyzed by the storm, by the noise, by the weight of everything. Leo, sensing Sam's fear, nudged him gently with his nose. When Sam didn't respond, Leo barked softly and nudged him again. The warmth of Leo's fur against Sam's hand brought him back to the moment. He looked down at Leo, who gazed up at him with calm, steady eyes. Leo wasn't afraid. Leo was there. "Come on, Sam. We can do this," Sam whispered to himself, his voice trembling. He took a shaky step forward, and then another. Leo stayed close, his presence like a guiding light in the chaos. The trail seemed endless, but eventually, Sam spotted the shed through the rain. It stood strong and dry, a safe haven in the middle of the storm. "We're almost there," Sam said, his voice a little stronger now. He held Lily's hand tightly as they hurried toward it, Leo leading the way. As they reached the shed, Sam helped Lily climb the steps, her tears subsiding as they found shelter from the rain. Leo shook off the water from his coat and sat down beside Sam, his tail wagging softly. Sam looked at his sister, then at Leo, and felt a flicker of pride. He had done it. He had kept them safe. The storm raged on outside, but inside the hut, it felt like a different world. Sam held on to Leo, his heart still pounding, but filled with a new sense of courage. For the first time, He had faced his fear and found strength he didn't know he had. Leo leaned against him, a quiet reassurance that they would face whatever came next together. The storm raged on, rain slashing sideways against the creaking shed. Thunder growled like a hungry beast, and lightning lit up the darkened park in brief, blinding flashes. Sam held Lily tightly against his chest, her tiny body trembling in sync with his own. Leo stood alert by their side, his dark eyes scanning the chaos outside. "This isn't safe," Sam whispered to himself, glancing at the rising floodwaters creeping closer to their fragile shelter. The ground around the shelter was already pooling with muddy water, and Sam's gut told him they had to move. But where? The storm had turned the familiar park into a maze of shadows and fear. Leo nudged Sam's leg, his soft whine cutting through the noise of the storm. The gentle pressure was enough to steady Sam's spinning thoughts. He took a deep breath, his dad's voice echoing in his mind. "When you're scared, focus on what you can do, not what you can't." Sam scanned the area, squinting through the downpour. His eyes landed on a faint trail weaving through the trees, a path he vaguely remembered from their earlier walk. "That might lead us home," he thought, his heart pounding. But the path was littered with fallen branches and slick with mud. Could they make it? Sam looked at Leo, who stood steady despite the chaos. "Okay, Leo," he said, his voice shaking. "You lead the way." Leo barked softly, as if to say he understood, and stepped out into the storm. Holding Lily, Sam followed, his small hand gripping Leo's leash like a lifeline. The dog moved with purpose, guiding them around debris and through ankle-deep water. Every crack of thunder made Sam flinch, but Leo kept him moving. The trail was treacherous. A thick branch blocked their path, forcing Sam to detour around it. He slipped on the wet ground, almost losing his balance, but Leo was there, steady and patient. "I can do this," Sam murmured, more to himself than anyone else. "We can do this." Lily cried in his arms, her tiny fingers clutching his shirt. "It's okay, Lily," Sam said, trying to sound braver than he felt. "Leo is with us. He'll keep us safe." As they pressed on, the storm seemed to roar louder, as if testing Sam's resolve. A sudden flash of lightning revealed their destination ahead, the old wooden bridge that crossed the creek near the park's edge. Relief flooded Sam's chest, but it was short-lived. When they reached the bridge, Sam's heart sank. A massive tree had fallen across the middle, breaking the structure in two. Sam froze, panic threatening to take over. "What do I do now?" he whispered, his hands tightening around Lily. The way home was blocked, and the storm showed no signs of letting up. Leo barked sharply, drawing Sam's attention. The dog stood firm at the edge of the bridge, his tail wagging slightly, as if encouraging Sam to think. Sam swallowed hard and looked around, the wheels in his mind starting to turn. Sam stared at the broken bridge, the wreckage daunting under the pounding rain. The creek beneath churned wildly, its dark waters rising steadily. Lily whimpered softly in his arms, and for a moment, Sam felt the weight of his fear press down on him, like the storm clouds overhead. But then Leo barked, a sharp, clear sound that cut through Sam's panic. The dog stood at attention, his head tilted slightly as if assessing the situation. His calm conduct was like a lifeline, pulling Sam back to the moment. "Okay, Leo," Sam said, his voice trembling but determined. "What do we do?" Leo stepped closer to the edge of the stream, sniffing the air and pawing the ground. He looked back at Sam, his eyes steady and full of trust. Sam took a shaky breath and followed, his grip on Lily tightening as they approached the water. The creek's edge was slick, but Leo remained composed, demonstrating with careful steps how to avoid slipping. Sam watched closely, his confidence slowly growing. "We can do this," he whispered, more to himself than to anyone else. Leo led them to a shallower section of the stream where the water wasn't as fierce. Sam hesitated, staring at the rushing water. "It's not that deep," he told himself, "but it's still scary." Then he looked down at Leo, who stood firmly in the stream, glancing back with a wag of his tail. If Leo could handle it, maybe he could too. Cradling Lily tightly, Sam stepped into the water. The icy chill sent a shock up his legs, but Leo stayed by his side, guiding him step by step. "Almost there, Lily," Sam said, his voice steady now. He focused on Leo's movements, letting the dog's calm presence push away his fear. They made it to the other side of the shallow stream, but the broken bridge still loomed ahead. The middle section was completely destroyed, leaving a dangerous gap. Sam's eyes darted around, searching for a solution, and then he spotted it, a large, sturdy tree that had fallen near the creek. It stretched across the gap like a natural bridge. "Leo," Sam said, pointing at the tree. "We can use that." Leo trotted toward the fallen tree, sniffing it cautiously. He placed one paw on the trunk, testing its stability. Seeing Leo's careful movements, Sam nodded. "You're so smart, Leo," he whispered. "We can do this together." Sam positioned Lily on his back, tying his jacket around her like a makeshift sling to keep her secure. "Hold on tight, Lily," he said, glancing at her tiny face. She nodded, her wide eyes full of trust. Leo led the way, stepping lightly onto the tree trunk. The wet bark was slippery, but Leo moved with practiced ease, his training shining through. Sam followed closely, his heart pounding with every step. The creek raged below, but he kept his eyes on Leo, who guided him steadily. Halfway across, Sam slipped, his foot skidding on the wet surface. Panic surged, but before he could fall, Leo turned back, pressing his body against Sam's leg to steady him. "Thanks, Leo," Sam whispered, clutching the tree trunk tightly. He took a deep breath and kept moving, one careful step at a time. Finally, they reached the other side. Sam collapsed onto the muddy ground, pulling Lily into a hug. "We did it," he said, his voice filled with both exhaustion and pride. Leo sat beside him, his tail wagging furiously as he nuzzled Sam's shoulder. As the rain began to lighten, Sam noticed a faint glow through the trees. A warm, golden light that made his heart leap with hope. "Leo," he said, pointing toward it, "that's home. We're almost there." Leo barked, his tail wagging even harder, as if he understood. Together, the trio set off toward the light, the storm now behind them, and Sam feeling braver than ever before. The glow of the porch light grew brighter as Sam, Lily, and Leo trudged through the muddy path. Sam's legs ached, his clothes clung to him with cold dampness, but his heart felt lighter with each step. Leo walked faithfully beside him, his tail wagging in tired triumph. Then, through the clearing, he heard it, a voice calling his name. "Sam! Lily!" It was his dad, running toward them with his mom close behind. Relief washed over Sam as his parents reached them, scooping him and Lily into tight hugs. His mom's tears mingled with the rain still clinging to his face. "You're safe," she whispered. "Thank goodness you're safe." "We were so worried," his dad added, his voice thick with emotion. "What happened?" Sam pulled back slightly, glancing at Leo, who stood quietly at his side, his dark eyes calm and steady. "It was Leo," Sam said, his voice steady despite his exhaustion. "He helped us the whole way. He kept me brave." As they walked toward home, Sam recounted everything. How Leo had led them through the storm, helped them cross the stream, and even steadied him when he almost fell. He explained how he remembered what his dad had said about focusing on what you can do, and how Leo's calmness had helped him push through his fear. His parents listened intently, their faces shifting from worry to awe. When Sam finished, his mom knelt in front of him, her hands on his shoulders. "You were so brave, Sam," she said, her voice full of pride. "You kept Lily safe, and you trusted Leo. We're so proud of you." Sam looked down at Leo, a shy smile breaking across his face. "I couldn't have done it without him. He's not just a dog, he's my best friend." Once home, they dried off, changed into warm clothes, and settled into the living room. Lily, now fast asleep, was tucked into her crib. Sam sat beside Leo on the floor, leaning against the dog's warm body. His parents brought him a blanket and a cup of hot cocoa, but what warmed Sam most was the feeling of pride bubbling inside him. "You know," his dad said, sitting on the couch, "storms used to scare you so much. And now look at you. You've faced one head on." Sam nodded, running his fingers through Leo's soft fur. "I guess storms aren't so bad, as long as Leo is with me." From that day forward, Sam's fears didn't seem as big or as overwhelming. With Leo by his side, he found himself trying new things, meeting new people, and even playing outside when the skies were cloudy. Each small victory built his confidence, and each new adventure made him a little braver. Sam and Leo became inseparable, a team ready to take on anything together. Whether it was a trip to the park, a thunderstorm, or just exploring their backyard, Sam knew he could count on Leo, and more importantly, on himself.